All right, it's 6:30. We're going to call the meeting to order, and we're going to start by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This is a meeting of the school board for the purpose of conducting the school corporation's business. It is not to be considered a public community meeting. Public comments are limited to items on the agenda. There will be a time for public participation as indicated by agenda item number 5. The board receives agenda item information and rationale for administrative recommendations for their thorough review before each meeting. We're going to start off tonight recognizing media, of which there are none here. So we're going to move right into our Students of the Month, nominated by Antimony Fox, Senior Zaria Caulfield.
Z couldn't make it tonight. She goes by Z instead of Zaria a lot of times. She's one that I nominated her because she just flies under the radar. She just does her stuff without being asked. And I found out that she's a secret reader, so she doesn't want people to know that, but now you all know. She likes to read all of the mystery, true crime type of stuff, and so we give each other a lot of recommendations now that I know that. So she's been fun to get to know this year.
Thank you, and our congratulations to Z. Also nominated by Antimony Fox is Junior Sally Meyer.
So Sally moved to Whitko last year at the very beginning of the year, and she was originally in my regular English 10 class, and she was like, oh, I've done this before, and I'm like, wait a second, huh? And so I looked at some of her writing, and we talked through stuff, and I was like, I really think you need to be in honors. So I pushed her and made her go to honors, and she was kind of like, I don't think I can do it. And she has just been amazing. She's got excellent writing skills that have only improved. She's kind of in the top of her class in her AP Lang class, and so it's been great to see that skill improve in her as well.
Our congratulations to Sally. Whitko sophomore Cammie Swarslander was nominated by Mike Hanback.
Okay, we're up here comparing ties. One of the benefits that I've had teaching junior high as well as high school is I get a chance to see students in 8th grade and then as they move on. And Cammie's a perfect example of that. I had her in 8th grade a couple of years ago, and very quiet, very unassuming, just worked hard, but never really knew she was there. This year I have her in one of my earth science classes, and it is just amazing to see the maturity that she has gone through over the last 2 years. Look at the effort she now puts in. She works really hard. She takes notes of videos that I show, which is something that most people don't do. And it's just really great to sit and talk with her, because in 8th grade she never spoke. But now she'll come up and we'll start some kind of conversation. It may start with curriculum, but before you know it, it's moved on to something else. So it's just is really a wonderful thing to get the opportunity to see the maturity that we see with the kids, and me being able to do it firsthand, having them as in junior high and then into high school. So that's why I nominated Cammie.
Our congratulations to Cammie. Whitko freshman Layla Strebe was nominated by John Fullenkamp.
Sorry, I'm not John. Layla Well, first off, I just want to say Layla is one of those students who, as I first started at Whitko this year, she was one of those kids who like always had a smile, and she would always give me information if I needed to know, what's going on or where I'm supposed to be or whatnot. And she was always so helpful. And then one day I asked her, because I'm 100 years old, I always tell the kids, were you named after Layla there's a song by Eric Clapton, it's called Layla. And she's like, yeah, I am. And I'm like, that is so cool. So yeah, anyway, she's just a great kid to talk to and get to know, and always has a smile. That's my input for her, even though Mr. Fullenkamp nominated her. So I second that. But here's what Mr. Fullenkamp said. Layla is someone who is a good student. She has a wonderful work ethic and an eye for details. As she takes great notes in class, she uses her time in class wisely and gets most of her work completed during any work time that's allotted. She's always attentive in class, asks quality questions, has a terrific attitude, and she is always willing to help those who need it. Layla is a solid student in my classroom and is deserving of this recognition. And congratulations.
Congratulations, Layla. Whitko 8th grader Elijah Landeros was nominated by Rochelle Leininger.
Kids say I talk too much, so I'm going to try and stick to the script here. I've had Elijah in math for the past 2 years, and the growth that I've witnessed in him has been tremendous. He has a strong work ethic and participates positively in class. He's respectful, an independent thinker, and laser focused. As a result, he earned not just 2, 3 A's on his 3 tests and Wall of Fame honors. Excuse me. Elijah continues to impress me, and I look forward to seeing what he does second semester. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Elijah. Jack Johnson, Whitko Career Academy sophomore, nominated by Jay Oken.
Good evening. Mr. Oken nominated Jack. He says Jack is a very persistent and focused learner. He leaves WCH day with new knowledge and skills, seems to enjoy this type of learning, and makes the best of each laboratory assignment and situation he is presented. Not only is Jack a self-directed achiever and problem solver, he is also a friend to his peers. He is always there for his classmates and that may have fallen behind on coursework to help them out in any way he can. Jack Johnson.
Our congratulations to Jack. Chris Abbott, South Whitley Elementary 3rd grader, was nominated by Lorraine Kyler.
And Mrs. Kyler says, I chose Chris because he is a team player in the classroom. He works diligently with a positive attitude. He collaborates well in small groups and is a quiet problem solver. He shows respect to his classmates and teachers by being honest and trustworthy throughout the day. I am happy to have such a responsible student who is ready to learn every day. Mrs. Kyler.
Our congratulations to Chris. And finally, Pearson 1st grader Brooklyn Rogers, nominated by Kennedy Musselman. Thank you.
Well, come on up, Brooklyn. It's our first time meeting, right? But Mrs. Hoppert isn't able to be here, so I'm going to read what Mrs. Musselman said about you. All right? So you want to turn around so they can all see you? There you go. All right. So Brooklyn is so kind. She is always willing to help others. She is an excellent leader, and I know that I can count on her to be an excellent example to other students. She has also started to show impressive growth in her reading skills. So great job, Brooklyn, from Mrs. Musselman. Congratulations,
Brooklyn. We now have a special presentation from Whitko FFA Chapter's livestock judging team. They are bound for Scotland this summer. Come on up, guys. They are going to give us a little demonstration and have a little presentation for us.
Hi guys, my name is Cohen Shipper. I'm a part of the livestock judging team, but today we're going to show you, actually, do you want to start Can you restart the slideshow, please? Well, that is us at our national contest that we did recently. If you go to the next slide, I'll be talking about like what livestock judging is. A lot of you guys don't really see the behind stories of it because like it's not like sports, like basketball that you can go and watch. It's only the kids competing in the contest and the adults hosting it that really see what's going on. But what we do, there's around 4 different species of animals: goats, cattle, pigs, and sheep that we all judge, breeding and market. So what happens is like kind of what you see on the page, the slideshow. There's 4 different animals in each class. You rank the animals on their performance and their quality. So you can go 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on the class and how it's ranked and how good the animals are. A lot of you guys can kind of see it if you go to like a 4-H county fair and see a judge judging the species. He kind of places the class in order and which ones he thinks is the highest performing. That's what we're doing here, just in a contest form. So the people that can compete is kids in FFA or in 4-H programs. Yeah. But you just kind of rank the animals in order, and then you give right sets of reasons on them, which Carly will be explaining in a little bit. But you just write all the qualities you think the animals have over the other ones, what's wrong with the animals, and then once you get to the reasons room, you give that qualities and why you think that is to the judge. And then another form of livestock judging is questions. You just take notes over the animals, and then at the very end of the contest, you have to memorize the questions, the notes that you took, and then listen to the questions the judges ask, and then mark it down on your Scantron. But there's normally around 12 classes in each contest, probably around 4 reasons classes, and then 1 question class as well. The next slide, please.
As we go to all the different livestock judging contests, before we practice by going to different farms and viewing different locations so that we can get a glimpse and practice what live animals look like, because in our practices we're only able to look at pictures and videos, and it helps us to see live animals. You can go to the next slide. So last May we had our state contest, which we were able to be the 2nd high overall team, and we had various individuals in the top 10 rankings for each species, and we were in the top 5 teams for each species many times. You can go to the next slide. And then this fall we earned a trip to the National FFA contest, which each state has a team that represents their state, so there are over 50 teams present. And then there we were reserved national champion team with also we had a member that won the reasons, and then we had many top 10 species placings.
Okay, you can go to the next slide. Okay, so I'm going to talk about reasons. Cohen kind of touched on it, but this is a major part of the contest. So basically what reasons are, when you judge the class, you write down notes on like why you placed the class, how you did basically. And then you have to go into this room with judges and like recite basically what you said, and the reasons like memorized. You know what I mean? Okay. So so here's like an example, I guess. I'm going to give you like, I'm going to talk this class of breeding heifers, just the top pair. So this is how it would go. Okay. I like the class of breeding heifers 2413. As I study this top pair of quality, stout, attractive heifers, I think of the necessity for a sound functional type, and it's the red heifer's ability to get out and go that makes her a safe place to start this class. Couple this with that maternal body and a cool front end, and I'm betting she'll give us more longevity in the future. Now the black heifer in second initially has the upper hand as she is stout, bold in her rib, and further along in her condition. I just question if she'll be able to hold it together in the future, as she tends to be the coarser, rounder female. That's just the top pair, but you'd keep going throughout the the middle pair and then the bottom pair. So yeah.
So our team has the opportunity to compete in Scotland this June. We're working on fundraising for our once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We had cards made. So if you'd like to support our team and our trip, that'd be much appreciated. And so thanks for letting us talk about our team.
Yeah.
What kind of
What cards? Oh, like discount cards that you're selling, or what?
Yeah, no, they're just cards that kind of give us the information of the people on the team, and then if you turn it back, it's just a QR code that you can scan and then donate money if you want to. But here, we're just trying to make you guys aware of what's happening and let you know that we have a team that's wanting to compete in Scotland and just wanting to inform you guys all what we do and how we do it. So that's what we're here for. But if you want to support us, there's cards here, or at the beginning of the slideshow, it was a QR code as well. But I'll just put them up on here, and then you guys can grab them if you want at the end of the meeting.
Cohen, how much money do you need to raise for this trip?
Around $40,000.
How much?
We will go and compete at 2 contests, and then also get the experience to see Europe and different countries as well. It's kind of a once-lifetime opportunity, but we will prepare it. Hopefully we get enough money to raise and to compete at the contest.
Do you have some fundraising opportunities coming up that you could tell us about?
We are planning a livestock judging contest at Whitko to raise some money as well. So we'll be hosting kind of what we just explained and how a contest work. We'll be hosting it ourselves. But if you want to check out our Facebook page, we'll be doing different fundraisers to help raise the money as well. So if you want to check that out. Currently, not for sure. We're having a meeting later in the week to talk about more fundraising, but just keep in touch on our Facebook page, and we'll let you guys know.
And do you have a deadline to have those funds raised?
I don't know the exact deadline,
Okay.
just before June, of course.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Cohen. Thank you, girls. All right, and 2.4, we have the Boomerang Backpack Program by Stephanie Meyer. She's our corporation nurse. She's got some great news for us. Yeah, you're good.
Okay, I'll try to be very quick, but we do have a lot of really exciting things happening. Earlier this year, I was given the opportunity to submit a grant request through Health First Indiana. It's an initiative to fund health-based programming. And since Pearston Elementary is our only building actually located in Kosciuszko County, those funds were designated for that building specifically. They gave us $6,750, and with that money, I met with Christy Hoppert and Stephanie Hupp, and we kind of identified needs and things that we thought needed addressed for our students there. And so Boomerang is the biggest component of that. There were a few other things. We did a really neat anti-bullying presentation for kids in grades K through 5. We've implemented a mentoring program at Pearston, and it's going really, really well. We continue to get adult volunteers from the community, and we now have 18 students enrolled in that program. So they meet with their adult mentor for 30 minutes each week, one-on-one. We established a hygiene closet there. There are hygiene supplies and clothing there for students. We also have some additional supplies out here that I use to restock that building. And to date, we have had 118 students receive hygiene supplies and 28 students who have been furnished with clothing that they needed. The most significant program that we've implemented there is the Boomerang Backpack Program, and if you don't know what that is, it's a program that helps students that face food insecurity on the weekends or when school's not in session There was an existing program there through a church, so they serve students in grades 4 through 6, and we have focused on students in grades K through 3. We have 59 students that we serve each week, and those bags are packed out here by our functional skills students on Friday mornings, and that is a joy. And probably the highlight of my week, and then they load them on the bus and take them to Pearson where they're distributed in the afternoon. And with that number of students, when we leave for Christmas vacation this week, we will have sent home 712 bags of food to students in Pearson Elementary. So that leads me to the exciting thing, and the reason that Teresa asked me to come is that we've had great support from the community, businesses, and local churches, and we have had a tremendous amount of money come in the last week. Cottage Watchman and EF Rhodes and Sons gave me a check this week for $1,000. The Kosciuszko County Health Department called me and let me know last week that they have funds that were not used by other organizations that participated in that Health First Indiana initiative, so they are sending us another $1,000 to be used for this calendar year. The Pearson High School Alumni Association has been wonderful. They did a cheese ball fundraiser last weekend at the Primitive Show, and we received a check from them today for $625. The Kosciuszko County Community Foundation Operation Roundup grant gave us $400. And then I got another call from the Kosciuszko County Health Department that they just wanted to let us know that they're so pleased with what we've done, that they are doubling our grant money for the year 2025. So we will be getting $13,000 for programs at Pearson. And then Whitley County has stepped up as well, and they are giving us $7,500 to start Boomerang at South Whitley Elementary and the junior senior high, so that will start in mid-January. Thanks.
Thank you, Stephanie. All right, we got headliners, and then go ahead, and if you're students of the month, you're welcome to leave if you'd like. So headliners tonight, we want to say a huge congratulations to Whitko senior Amy Brown, who was named a Lilly Endowment Community Scholarship recipient. This scholarship is a 4-year full tuition scholarship at any eligible public or private nonprofit college or university in Indiana. Amy has been very active in community service programs as well as extracurricular programs within the school. She carries an 11.57 GPA, and thanks to Whitko's dual credit programs, Amy has already earned 27 college credits. We are very proud of your accomplishment, Amy, and we wish you the best. In the spirit of giving this Christmas season, Whitko's archery team delivered boxes of food as well as a monetary donation to the Pearson Food Pantry and the South Whitley Emergency Food Bank. These donations were collected at the Harvest Classic Benefit Archery Tournament, which was hosted by the Whitko Archery Club. This tournament was attended by 228 archers from 18 schools in Indiana and Michigan. Thank you to the Whitko Archery Club for your community service. Last Friday, the Whitko Junior Senior High Student Council partnered with the American Red Cross to host a blood drive for students and staff at the high school. This partnership happens 4 times a year, offering a convenient way for students and staff to be life-saving blood donors. Students 17 years or older can donate blood on their own, and students who are 16 years old may donate with parental consent. Any student who donates 4 times during their high school career receives a red cord to wear at graduation as a way to recognize their donations. Senior track and fielder Gwen Howard signed with Duke University on December 4th, committing to compete as a Blue Devil next year. Family members, Whitko staff, and many community well-wishers attended the signing ceremony to wish her the very best at the Division I level of competition. And finally, the band's winter concert is tomorrow evening at 6:30 in the high school auditorium. The evening may begin as early as 5 p.m. with a $5 supper in the cafeteria prior to the performances. All right, we're going to move into 3.0, which is our principal and director reports. And we're going to start tonight with Mr. Joel Halsapple from South Whitley Elementary School.
All right, our spelling bee is happening December 19th, and we're excited for our 5th and 6th graders to compete in this event. Our winner will have the opportunity to compete at the regional competition, which I think is in January. Pearston and South Whitley staffs are going to be looking at the proficiency level descriptors, iLearn standards, and the assessments at a joint professional development on January 6th. Teachers will create assessments that are at the depth and rigor of the standards and go with our ARC units. We're looking forward to deepening our understanding across grade levels throughout the district. Special thank you to Lexi Rose and Annie Clark for their efforts in preparing for this. I also then wanted to answer a question that was asked about the iLearn checkpoints. So we attended, Jody Clark, Christy Hopper, and I attended a workshop on this, and we found out that the iLearn checkpoints are not part of the final score for our students. And another piece that we learned is that you can take these over and over and over again, which can be a great thing. It's getting towards that formative assessment we want. We don't quite have the tests where we can see how they did on individual questions, but you can take those over and over again up until April 9th, which would be when I believe the window opens for the final summative assessment. Any questions for me?
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
From Whitko Career Academy, Mr. Chris Benedict.
Good evening. Our work-based learning highlighted student of the month this month is Jace Lee. He's a senior that's working at Shambaugh & Sons in Fort Wayne. Jace has completed 2 pathways here at the Career Academy in welding and in precision machining, and certifications in both of those as well. So very proud of Chase. WCA received a score of 155 on our Phase 1 annual audit review, for risk management. This review is conducted by the Indiana Commission for Higher Education for CTE Administration and Monitoring. That score is good enough to keep us from any additional monitoring, or we do not have to take part of the Phase 2 audit. So everything we pass with our CLNA. So happy about that. Our engineering students designed some 3D printed Christmas ornaments, not only for our work-based learning students, but also for the businesses that employ those work-based learning students. So engineering department getting into that as well. Our student venture group received a $3,000 grant from the Don Wood Foundation to help fund their startup business that will be presented at April Showcase celebration at Warsaw Community Schools. We have 10 students that are participating in that with 7 different business proposals. WCA will be completing our recruitment process for students for the 25-26 school year in January. Students will be touring all the programs here at WCA to help them kind of decide that program selection. Again, that's very important for our kids for that Box 3 graduation requirement. If they don't have an SAT score or an ACT qualifying score or the ASVAB score, they need those 6 accredited hours in a certain CTE field. So getting them signed up for the 25-26 school year. And then finally, our 8th graders will be wrapping up their semester 1 CTE courses. They're going to receive a college and career, an intro to ag, and engineering essentials. All 3 of those will be high school credits that they earn in their 8th grade year. And then we're looking forward, obviously, to the 7th graders coming out in semester 2. So that's all we got. Any other questions?
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
From Whitko Junior Senior High, we have Jody Clark.
We have 9 seniors that are actually graduating midterm. They have worked really hard to get their credits completed and their pathways completed, and a few of them are actually going to continue on at jobs that they've obtained through the work-based learning program, which shows a great success of what that program is. And then we have one of them that will be going into the Army in July, and all of them but one will be participating in the graduation ceremony in the spring. We had, thanks to Mr. Maurer, he organized an assembly for our junior high. It was called Attaboy Assembly, and this was a program presented through music that talked a lot about like not bullying others, how to value yourself and value others. It was kind of like a rock concert, I guess, so the kids really understood it, but also had fun too. So it's just a different way than just preaching at them. We have had our National Honor Society has been selling Santa cards to our kids just to get some excitement going around, to celebrate the holiday season, and then kids can earn prizes for numbers called, and then the money that they're earning from this, they'll use towards the Jared Day or the Jared Week for some of the expenses. And then our Sunshine Society has helped. They helped the Shop with the Cop, which occurred last week. So they were able to go and help the kids with that, help them with shopping. And then they also went over to South Whitley Elementary and helped at their little Santa store. So our girls loved doing that, being a part of that. We have finals this week that will wrap up for high school on Friday morning, and we will have a celebration in the afternoon with some minute to win it games and some relay races. So if you're available, come on out in the afternoon. Junior high is going to have a celebration most of the day. We're going to take them on a little tour down to the new wing so they can see the current 7th graders, at least, where they will be next year. And that is coming along well. I'm sure Rhonda will update you on that. But so the kids are really excited to go down there. For the teacher evaluation committee, just as an update, we have we continue to meet every Monday. We've determined domains and subcategories that we feel like really exemplify what teachers need to be observed on, be able to provide that feedback so that they are able to really contribute to the success of the student learning. We've compared that to the RISE rubric. We looked at Noblesville's rubric, Blackford County Schools rubric, and just narrowed things down to where we feel the most important things are that can be observed, and that shows, the instruction component is the biggest component, obviously, in the planning. So we've combined areas, eliminated areas, and then our next step is to work on a rubric of how they will be evaluated in each of those areas. We've also had 2 presentations by EWalk and Standards of Success, and those are platforms for recording that information, like of what teachers, when we go in and observe them, that what they will be evaluated in, what areas they need to improve upon, and how we can do that. And it also includes, the one program also includes where we can just do short little snippets into their classrooms, just like a 10-minute thing, and be able to provide them feedback. There's a lot of components to it, and we hope to be able to share all this information and make some recommendations with the new superintendent. Yeah, any questions? Yep, you're welcome.
Athletic Director Barry Singray.
Good evening. I have just a few updates for tonight. The athletic department was able to purchase new bench chairs for the high school gym. They look great, but really our main intent was to repurpose the previous set down here at WCA for our junior high teams and replace the old metal benches that we had. So we were able to make that change and get the new bench chairs in at the high school and replace the old benches here at WCA. A couple winter sports updates. Junior high girls basketball and junior high wrestling will both begin competitions after winter break. Girls basketball will have their alumni night this Saturday, December 21st, where they will recognize quite a few former Whitko girls basketball players. And then after break, we have a couple important events coming up. Girls basketball senior night will be January 21st, and wrestling senior night will be January 22nd. A couple feeder program updates. Right after Thanksgiving, we were able to have our boys and girls youth recognition nights for youth basketball. Both those seem to go really well. They were pretty well attended, and we plan on continuing to send out our postcard to sort of promote that and offer the free ticket to families for that night. Also, with the feeder programs, the Whitko Wrestling Club went underway at the beginning of December. Really appreciate all our coaches continuing to try to work and build their feeder programs. Athletic schedules, really now just working on finalizing our spring schedules, making sure all our contracts and any changes that need to be made are updated as soon as possible and put on EventLink. And then lastly, I want to recognize a few students tonight. We had a couple recent college signings. I'd like to congratulate Kaylee Atkins on signing with Tusculum University in Tennessee for women's softball. And then, as previously mentioned as well, I would like to congratulate Gwen Howard on signing with Duke University for women's track. And then lastly, we talk about sportsmanship a lot in athletics. Obviously, there's, good things happen in athletics all the time. Bad things can happen as well. But I really wanted to share about one of our students who was recognized not by us, but by another school and by the Indiana High School Athletic Association. So just want to recognize junior wrestler Landon Smith, who received an exemplary behavior report from South Bend Washington High School and the Indiana High School Athletic Association this past weekend. Landon was recognized for showcasing outstanding sportsmanship towards his teammates, opponents, and administration throughout the event. Just really want to thank Landon for representing our school and our community well. That's all I have. Any questions?
It's a lot, as usual. Thank you,
Yep,
Barry.
thank you.
Director of Operations, Rhonda Snavely.
Good evening. For transportation, we've been working on reworking the shuttles for second semester. We've had to add some for some special circumstances. We've been working on cleaning the mowers and repairing them to get them ready for next year, and then put blades on the equipment that we use for plowing. Our big thing is I'm trying to recruit 1 or 2 more trainers. On January 17th, Smith Green is going to host a Train the Trainers opportunity and has invited us and Whitley County Consolidated. They're going to have Renee Dawson from the state come in and kind of go over what new drivers need to know and the best way that we can help them to train for the skills test. So hopefully I can find at least one, hopefully 2 more drivers to do that. We currently have 1 driver, Amy Decanaw, or 1 trainer. And with all of the people that we have at different stages in the training, sometimes she can get a little overwhelmed, and she has a large family with a lot of activities going on, so we're hoping to get her some help. For maintenance, the South Whitley Elementary fence is complete and it looks great. We've been we're working on replacing the South Whitley gym lights with LED lights over Christmas break. We had inspections on our bleachers and our elevators in the last few weeks, so I've been working with BR Bleachers and Kone to work on the repairs, repairs that need to be made. For D-Wing project, all the temp specs are in the classrooms. The D-Wing bathroom floors and wall tile are in. The toilets and urinals have been set in all of the restrooms. The fire alarm and strobes are connected. Slabs have been poured. The metal has been up. The classroom carpet is all down now, along with all the ceiling tile. They are still working on a little bit in the hallway when I went there earlier today. And they've been working on laying out the Lego Lab ceiling. It's going to have some special effects and some floating features, so there's a lot of time and work that goes into that. That's pretty much all I have. Anybody have any questions? I just wanted to take an opportunity to recognize Raymond Slusher as well. We're all brokenhearted at his passing yesterday. He's been a vital part of our team for many years, serving many, many sports teams, and his loss is going to be felt around the corporation. So if you keep him in your thoughts and prayers, that would be appreciated.
Our condolences to his family. Thank you. Carrie Walmer, Director of Special Services.
Good evening. Our final December 1 reports have been submitted to the state, reflecting a total of 312 identified special ed students across the corporation. The title grants and support team with the IDOE recently reviewed our fiscal year 2025 pre-app, which has been approved. This is like the first step of the process to releasing the title funds to us for the upcoming fiscal year. We're pleased to announce that we are approaching 50% completion rate for our paraprofessional professional development training. The end goal obviously is 100% completion, so we're hopeful to get there. And then lastly, I've initiated the process of spending our McKinney-Vento grant funds. So these resources will address the current needs of our identified students while also providing additional support. So do you have any questions?
Thank you, Carrie. Caleb Logan, Alternative Services.
Good evening. So a couple of quick things. We currently have 65 students utilizing online learning in our branch of alternative services. So that includes our virtual students, our homeschool students, and then our students in the alternative school here at WCA. That number is down from last month. It's a fluctuating number. As students finish, they come off of that total number, which is a good thing that it's going down. That means students are finishing the classes they've set out to do. In total, in all of those three areas, we've had 179 credits as of Friday, which was 46 since the last board meeting. So the kids have been working really hard in all of those areas. It's not just one. We have, from each of those different categories, we have over 50 credits that have been earned in each of those sections, which is awesome. And then one last celebration kind of thing that I have to share is just some things that have happened in the last week or so, where we've had 2 students that are in our homeschool pathway that were newer to Whitko this school year, that because of their experience this semester working with the guidance department and myself of getting classes scheduled, have requested to return in person at Whitko to be new students, and which is kind of awesome because even though, I love having kids, a part of Whitko virtually, it's always better to have them here in person if we can. So that's a big shout out to everybody at Whitko. Thank you.
Good evening. The focus for this month has been on the math curriculum adoption process. Our district ILT team, that would be your principals, instructional coaches like myself, and mentor teachers. We came together and formulated a rubric for the math adoption process itself. The team focused on alignment, differentiation, content, supplemental materials, assessments, accessibility, and technology, just for the basic categories. We currently have 4 textbook vendors, and the goal right now is to narrow that down to our final 2 by utilizing the rubric. So going forward not November, let's say January, each building is going to receive the samples, the physical materials to evaluate. And the building principals, they will have their teachers and parents use the rubric to assess each textbook curriculum. Of course, we'll average it out for calculation, and then by February, we would like the selection to be narrowed down to the 2. Once the selection is narrowed down, I would like to meet with our new superintendent and give our math adoption committee, which is, there's actually 6 teachers, and if I did my math correctly on the experience, we're looking at 157 years of teaching on that committee of 6, who the first teacher day, Dr. Eddington had asked me to speak about what are we going to do this year, looking at math in particular, because 2 years ago we did English. No, you don't put math and English back to back, but it was just the life we live right now. So we waited a year, and now it's for math, because we know as teachers, our teachers need math curriculum. Our kids need a math curriculum, something in their hand to take home and such. So with that thought process, gave the charge, I guess you say, on Teacher Day, and I had 6 teachers who reached out. And so they are ready to go. So again, I want to give them my recommendation as a curriculum liaison, I guess is the title, is I would like to give those math adoption committee members a chance for them to share their reasoning for the selection, to give them some power, empower them. I do want to take just a moment to thank Dr. Eddington for giving me this opportunity. This is very much not on the radar, but just as a teacher, never imagined an experience being able to step in and help out with curriculum to fill in as needed. And Dr. Eddington, thank you for that opportunity. Thank you for believing in me. I know we have a little past. A lot of people may not know. You were my parents' principal, as in they were 10 years older than you, more experienced, and you were their first principal. Well, your first 10 years was with my parents. Later on, I don't know if you remember this, but in 2009 to 2011, you were the MC for the Warsaw qualifying Lego robotics tournaments. And my Lego robotics kids, we would always try to get to Wawasee tournament because it was closer. And you were the MC. And then, of course, being our interim superintendent. So our paths have crossed more than I realized over the years. But thank you for giving me an opportunity to grow. Thank you.
Yes.
4.0 is the donation and grant update by Dr. Eddington.
We have a $250 donation that is from Pierceton Masonic Lodge for the Pierceton Elementary School playground equipment. Trenton probably has an idea of where you need to reach to get new equipment and where you are now. Okay. Okay. Wonderful. It will be well used when that time comes.
All right, 5.0 is public comments on agenda items, and there are none tonight. So we're going to move on to 6.0, business reports and consent agenda. As usual, there's quite an extensive list. And I just happened to notice this must be new on the, Mike Handback is going to retire at the end of the year. So he's been great in our corporation, and we're going to really miss him. I would entertain a motion to accept the business reports and consent agenda as presented.
I move we accept the business report and consent agenda as presented.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we accept the business reports and consent agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye and raise your right hand. Aye. And those opposed? The motion passes. In new business, we have the approval of school bus rules and discipline upgrades in the 2024-25 Whitko Transportation Handbook. These revisions are effective January 1st, 2025. Could I get a motion to approve those upgrades in the Transportation Handbook, please?
I move that we approve the school bus rules and discipline upgrades in the 2024-25 Whitko Transportation Handbook.
I second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the upgrades to the bus rules and discipline and the Whitko Transportation Handbook. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye and raise your right hand. Aye. And those opposed? Motion passes. 7.2 is the approval of school bus rules and discipline upgrades in the 2024-25 Whitko Junior Senior High Student Handbook. These revisions are also effective January 1st, 2025. Could I get a motion to approve these upgrades in the Whitko Junior Senior High Handbook?
I move for the approval of school bus rules and discipline upgrades in the 2024-25 Whitko Junior Senior High Student Handbook.
I second it.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the school bus rules and discipline upgrades in the 24-25 Whitko Junior Senior High Student Handbook. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye and raise your right hand. Aye. And those opposed? Motion passes. 7.3 is the approval of the superintendent contract for January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2028. A proposed superintendent contract was properly advertised, and a public hearing to review the contract was Monday, December 9th, 2024. Could I get a motion to approve the superintendent contract, and then we'll introduce our new superintendent?
I move that we approve the superintendent contract for January 1, 2025 to December 31, 2028.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the superintendent contract effective January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2028. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye and raise your right hand. Aye. And those opposed? The motion passes. I would like to take a moment to introduce our new superintendent, Dr. Amy Corris. She is a Whitko alumni and 1991 graduate. We are excited to have you on board. Dr. Corris, would you like to say a few words?
I'm honored that you picked me for this position. It's not something that I take lightly. When I graduated in 91, I would have never in a million years thought that I would stand here before your next leader. In fact, when I left that high school, I thought, well, I'm not coming back there because I've got bigger things on my plate right now. So it's just so surreal to be here and to think the long road that has led me here. It's not always been easy, but I have always believed in public education. So I have worked my whole adult life. When people criticize public education, I take it personally, and I feel like it's my battle to inform them. So if someone says the schools in Indiana stink, I give them all kinds of research and data about what we're doing in Indiana that's working. And so I look forward to doing that for our community, talking about the great things that we are doing at Whitko and what we are going to do at Whitko. So I just have to say thank you to the board. People ask me every day, are you nervous about going to Whitko? And my answer is always the same. I'm not nervous, I'm excited. I'm ready to get busy. I'm excited to work with all of you. We have a lot of work to do. I stay up late at night thinking about things. So I also have to thank my parents who are here, who have taught me that hard work is all you need. You don't have to be the sharpest tool, but as long as you show up and you work hard, you'll get it done. And my kids, and then also my husband, who has walked this journey with me the whole time. So thank you again, and I'm ready to get busy. So
thank you. And with that introduction, we're going to move right into the approval to hire Dr. Amy Corris as our superintendent. Could I get a motion for that, please?
I move we approve to hire Dr. Amy Corris as superintendent.
I second it.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve to hire Dr. Amy Corris as our superintendent. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye and raise your right hand. Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations. Welcome back to Whitko. 7.5 is the approval of the addendum to Dr. Corris's teacher contract. Could I get a motion to approve that addendum, please?
I move we approve the addendum to Dr. Corris's teacher contract.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the addendum to Dr. Corris's teacher contract. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye and raise your right hand. Aye. And those opposed? Motion passes. 7.6 is the first reading approval of Neola Volume 37, Number 1, policies as presented, with a second and final reading at the January school board meeting. Could I get a motion to approve those Neola policies, please?
I move that we approve the first reading of the Neola Volume 37, Number 1 policies as presented.
I second it.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the Neola Volume 37, Number 1 policies as presented with the first reading. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye and raise your right hand. Aye. And those opposed? Motion passes. 7.7 is the annual authorization to make year-end transfers to close out and reconcile funds, appropriations, and revenues as recommended by Business Manager Lynn Leininger. Could I get a motion to authorize those business transactions, please?
I move that we authorize the transactions as presented by Mr. Leininger.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we authorize Lynn Leininger to make the business transactions as needed for the end of the year. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye and raise your right hand. Aye. And those opposed? The motion passes. 7.8 is the approval of a 3:45 p.m. swearing-in ceremony for re-elected and new members, a 4 p.m. Board of Finance meeting, and a 4:20 p.m. reorganizational meeting on Wednesday, January the 8th in the Academy Lecture Room. Could I get a motion to approve those 3 meetings, please?
I move we approve the 3:45 swearing-in ceremony and re-election of the new members.
Second.
For re-elected new members at 4, the Board of Finance meeting, and at 4:20, the reorganization meeting on Wednesday, January 8th in the lecture room.
I second it.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the 3 meetings as presented. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye and raise your right hand. Aye. And those opposed? The motion passes. And finally, we have approval of field trips. Could I get a motion to approve the field trips that we had listed?
I move. Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the field trips as presented. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye and raise your right hand. Aye. And those opposed? Motion passes. We have no old business at this time. Dr. Eddington, do you have any miscellaneous administrative items?
A few words. They're kind of miscellaneous. My time here at Whitko is about over, and I really appreciate your help and advice during the past month. Our Whitko administrators, and thank you for being here. Their favorite thing, of course, is to come and speak at the board meetings every month and spend time together, and I appreciate that. Carrie Walmer and Lynn Leininger they're in our office, and they have answered my endless questions over the past half year. Teresa Nepple has stepped up to assist with various tasks that she never thought she would be doing, as she said, so thank you. Teresa Carano, who takes care of you as board members and takes care of me, reads my mind in a AI sort of way, I guess, and keeps things moving forward for us as a district. I'm so happy for Amy and are you Dr. Corse? Yes. And returning home as leader is a wonderful thing. You know, as a board, that you will be in good hands, and the Whitko community and staff will benefit. We are meeting and will be providing the best transition possible, just so you know that way. Annette, I know your retirement from the board is coming soon, and we'll provide you more time for your family and friends, and you'll be missed on the school board here. And I already noticed some flowers back here that someone had sent you, and we have a little thanks from the board also that I'll have for you.
Okay, thank you.
And just thanks for allowing me to be part of Whitko Community Schools for this time. We do have for Amy a reception of sorts out in the entry hallway or lobby afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Eddington. It's been a pleasure working with you. It certainly has. 10.0, public comments on non-agenda items. We have none this evening. So 11.0 is miscellaneous school board items. The school board annual meeting days and times for 2025 will be presented for approval at the Wednesday, January 8th reorganizational meeting. At this time, I would accept a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
I move.
Seconded.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adjourn tonight's meeting. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Congratulations, Dr. Corus. There is a little reception out front for you for anyone that's here and would like to be out there and have a little meet and greet. Merry Christmas and have a blessed New Year, everyone. Thank you.